Hi, welcome to Bryant Systems. I'm Scott Bryant, and I'd just like to talk to you today about an amazing book I've been reading. I've really enjoyed it, and I think maybe some of my viewers may enjoy it too. And the book is called Consciousness and Beyond Life and Death and the Science to Near-Death Experiences. It's written by an MD, by a doctor, and what I found in the book that was really, really interesting is that lots of people that have had near-death experiences come away from religion, go more into meditation, go more into clairvoyancy, and looking at their body in a different way and looking at their life in a different way, and they're more closer connected to unconditional love. So I think most of the planet needs a near-death experience to realise exactly what we've got on the planet or on the earth today. So this is the book. If you'd like to go and purchase it, so interesting that so many people, after a near-death experience, you would have thought that they would migrate to going to church and seeing the vicar more and going to see the doctors, but doctors and science frown upon a near-death experience. They don't seem to understand that the near-death experience that somebody has is so life-changing. So the person that has a near-death experience will meditate more, believe in other energies and other sources more. And I found a guy online called Gary Grissons who was into UFOs and stuff like that in the States, and he's got this ranch in the States where the UFOs and other energies and other entities come to visit him on a regular basis. And I thought that this was really interesting because during his lecture of 3 hours, he starts to talk about where he had a near-death experience as a kid and got nearly drowned, and where he's more of a clairvoyant, he's a healer, he can see the UFOs, he can see them coming in, and he runs this big ranch in America where anyone can go and see the aliens or the spaceships. So Danny Dyer went out there and see the aliens and the spaceships, but before he was really skeptical, didn't believe in it, thought it was all crap. And then there's footage evidence of him saying that it was mind-altering, life-changing for him, and he just could not believe that there was aliens until he actually saw these ships shooting across the sky. And the really interesting thing for me is that this guy had a near-death experience, and that enabled him to be able to contact spirits and spirit world on a much deeper level compared to normal people that have not had that experience. So this book is so interesting. You know, why are we keeping people alive on machines that are in a coma and stuff like that, on the hoping that they may come around or come out of that coma? Now, I don't believe that this is a good thing because obviously it's costing the National Health, millions or thousands of pounds in which to keep that person alive. But for a family member, I suppose it's really important because they don't want to let go. But really, is that selfish to not let go? I had a client of mine and we were talking about death and about that she was getting to the age that she might pass on, and I said it'd be a really sad day when she passed. And she told me that I was being selfish because she wants to go. She wants to experience the next bit of life, or death life, as you may call it. So we had this debate, and I thought it was really interesting that she had a view of the death was just the next stage of where she was going. And the thing with the near-death experience, it explains that, many people go through this, but when they're trying to explain it to friends, family, doctors, or scientists, they don't understand it and they just poo-poo it. Surely there must be hundreds of thousands of people out there that have had a near-death experience that need somebody to talk to and somebody that can help them. And I think that's something that shamans do really, really well, because shamans go into spirit world and out of spirit world and into the normal world, and they go into upper worlds and lower worlds. in which to connect with spirit beings and trust what they're seeing and what they're feeling. Whereas, from Danny Dyer's sake, when he was at this retreat in America to contact the UFOs and see the UFOs, he was crapping himself. He was like really quite frightened because he didn't know what was going to happen. And there must be hundreds of thousands of people out there that are getting ready to die, or they know they're going to die, but are really, really scared. And this is something that shamanism helps with. If you're scared of death, or you're scared of the unknown, then a shaman can help you see the unknown, take you through that process, and bring you back. The other thing that I want to talk about today is that somebody posted online about where somebody they knew had a miscarriage, and that they were stressed, they were tired, and that they didn't understand why they had a miscarriage because they're trying to have a baby. And I put, which some of you may disagree with, is that, if you're too stressed and too tired, are you ready to bring a human being into the universe? If you can't look after it, or if you haven't got time for yourself, how can you have time for a spiritual energy human being into the world? So I believe that spirit out there may stop these types of people from having children until they're ready, until they adjust their lifestyles. And then if you go back onto a deeper level of shamanism, there may be a blockage in their lineage or their past lives that is stopping them from getting pregnant, or there may be a blockage in the husband or partner, and that could be the reason why the child is not manifesting. So all these things are really important to take on board. But the near-death experience, I believe everybody should have one, because it makes them more enlightened, more opened, more spiritual, understand unconditional love more. I know one person that comes to mind that has had a few near-death experiences, not just one, but many. And that has made them even more spiritual on a much deeper level, made them more open. So I can't see that having that sort of experience is bad. But obviously, if it affects your brain and you can't function the way that you used to, then maybe it will be a bad experience. But is that what you're here to learn? So in shamanism, we believe that everything happens for a reason, but you need to find out what that reason is and what is causing that overriding problem. And sometimes it may not be because if you have an accident, you break your leg or something like that. If you broke your leg, was it an energy around you that made that happen? Is it something in the universe that's trying to give you an awakening? Or is it just a case of that you just had a genuine accident and these things happen? So I believe that there's many, many different ways of looking at things, and we all need to come to our own conclusion. But I believe that the more stuff that I'm learning and the more stuff that I read gives me a bigger, deeper insight. I've seen people that are very stressed, they're doing too much all the time, and then something comes into their life that slows them down, like an accident, or the job might change, or the partner might leave them. And then they start to have this awakening where they start to realise, oh wow, well that was really a good experience for me because I learned some new stuff and I could change some stuff and make my life better. So I think that with this book, the consciousness beyond life is just a really important book. Everybody should read it. That so many people have these near-death experiences. They give up on the church. They start to meditate more. They start to believe in spirituality. They love themselves more. They give unconditional love to more people, including their families. They spend more time with them, so they start to appreciate them more. So how many families in modern day society don't even have dinner together, don't spend time together? And they wonder why the family unit is falling apart. And I think this is fundamentally why, because of the the blockage and the breakdown in the family. You know, as we know, when there's a funeral, most families get together and they may not have seen each other for 10 years, and all of a sudden they rekindle the love or the friendship that they all had together. And it's a shame that death or injury or illness is the only thing that brings people together, when it should be, you know, we should all love each other equally all the time, not just at the time when we feel it's beneficial to our ego or to ourselves. Now, I spend lots of time sending love to friends and family in my thoughts, in my prayers, every day, because we never know when the time that Great Spirit calls us, in which for this life to be over and for us to go into the next world. I cannot believe, and I do not believe, that this is the only life. I believe that there's so much more to this life, and I believe that there's so much stuff hidden from us through religion, dogmatic religions, through masters holding the information away from the general public, and through people just not researching and studying and learning about other elements of life. Like, I'm very into the metaphysical, I'm very into the woo-woo side of stuff, otherwise I wouldn't be learning how to be a shaman practitioner. Because you've got to have an open mind, you've got to be able to visualize, you've got to be able, and it's been one of my strengths all my life. I've been really gifted to be able to visualize and see things in the future, not too far in the future, but can see things and think, well, that's not going to work, I'm not going to do that. Yes, that's going to work, I'm going to do this. And then obviously things happen in our lives that come about that we go, wow, I didn't see that coming. But when it does, it's a learning curve. Everything is a learning curve. We're here to learn, we're here to grow, and that's why I'm constantly reading and learning new stuff as much as I can. If I'm not reading a book, I'm on the internet watching YouTube videos. I'm listening to other opinions and people's opinions as well, in which to help me grow much, much deeper. So I hope you enjoyed my little talk about the next life and near-death experiences, and the book that I've really enjoyed reading. This is a really good book, really insightful, really enjoyed it. It's an easy read, it's not too heavy, it's not really complicated. It's written in layman's terms, so would highly recommend it. So it's called Consciousness Beyond Life, The Science of Near-Death Experiences. It's my part of my shaman studying, which my shaman that I'm studying with recommended me to read this book before I go deeper into what I'm learning now. Okay, thank you very much. I'm Scott Bryant of Active Bryant Systems. If you'd like to comment at the bottom. If you'd like to subscribe either way. If you want to go to my website, go there or click at the bottom. Please like the video, please share the video, and I look forward to chatting to you again on my next video. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.